Good afternoon, Ascenders. How you doing? Yeah, today I've decided to address you in the afternoon. I'm hoping that it's quite early morning for those of you in North America, that it is midday for those of you in Europe, and you should be finishing work if you are in the Middle East. You will be home in the wind down for the Far East, and I hope that I catch majority of you soon after this video is done. I want to share some truths with you because I'm still speaking to so many of you, and some things that I expect to be fundamental, understood, clearly understood, are certainly not clearly understood. Yeah, I'm still preaching, I'm still teaching. Anyway, you can see on your screen our homepage to the Ascenders and our Revolt. That's the homepage for the Revolting Ascenders. All the resources, all the support, all the materials to be able to do what we are looking for will be available from my end via there. You can see all the support. You can find where you can book to consult me. You can see where you should go and join the Ascenders Collective, whatever. All the things you need are actually clearly signposted there. But let me tell you some things. I got a phone call from somebody, and the person says, well, you said something a few days ago about the promotion not happening, and I misunderstand why you say that, but you are so competent. Why are you so pessimistic? I'm like, rewind, pause, slow down. Let me explain. Promotion will be very difficult for me, and I have figured that out over time. I have been promoted, and usually when I have been promoted, I have had to fight like a little dog. And often the promotions I have had are still below my rank. They are nowhere near where I should be. It took me a long time to explain, to understand, but let me explain it to you simply. The more competent you become, the more difficult promotion is going to be for you, especially if you are looking for progression in the organizational structure. The more competent you are, the lower your tolerance threshold for bullshit. The more good at your job you become, the more you are likely to call out rubbish, and the less you are willing to accommodate foolishness. The more confident you are in your skills, the more knowledgeable you are of what you can do, especially when what you can do supersedes most of the people around you. When what you can do supersedes most of the people around you. And it's not just from what you see. In my case, when there's been inspection, I see people's reactions. When people are coming to observe and they are looking for teachers who are very skilled and talented, you find your name on there. When people want you to come and talk about things, your name is on there. There are many, many instances that prove to you beyond reasonable doubt that you actually do know what you are doing. And in my case also, I have studied it. So I am not just coming from practice, I'm also coming from pure research and knowledge. I am very competent at what I do. When it comes to teaching and learning, I am an expert in this area. And so when you see somebody paying lip service to something, you see it very quickly. When you see somebody ticking a box and not quite doing what is supposed to be done, you see it. You will see a lot of bullshit. And unfortunately for you, you will struggle to shut up about the bullshit. You would. It is undeniable. You can tell that it's bullshit. And usually when it's undeniable and you can tell it's bullshit, you will call it out. You will blurt it out before you even know. Obviously, now that I'm getting older, especially when I'm in situations where I need to regulate, especially now that I'm in places where I need to survive, what I have learned to do, somebody mentioned it to me, you become mute. Now, it's purposeful. I have intentionally zipped because it is not helpful for me to articulate. It is harmful for me to share my genuine thoughts. People will come to you and ask you what you think, but they will not be able to stomach what you think. And so you will find yourself victimized. It happens very easily. But yeah, the more competent you become, the scarier you become for a lot of people. the more uncomfortable it is, especially for people who manage upwards of you. You expose people. You do. Whereas most people will simply play Agama Lizard and nod along. No. You might be looking for common sense in situations where there are not common sense capacities. Yeah, you will expose things, and because you do that, guess what? You make people nervous. You make people uncomfortable. You get tagged very easily. Oh, this one is cantankerous. Oh, this one is troublesome. Oh, this one is insubordinate. We hear that a lot. Insubordinate. And sometimes when you first hear these things from people, it is very easy for you to receive this emotionally and not think about it logically. Actually, they are right. It is very difficult for you to be subordinate to bullshit. It really is. It's the same conversation I have with men. For a woman to submit to you, they must respect you. You cannot submit to that which you do not respect. I can tell you that for sure. I can submit to my husband because I respect the guy. There are many of you men that I see, I cannot submit to you. I cannot submit to you. If I cannot respect you, I cannot submit to you. And I hear that on these social media streets. You find these random Tom, Dick, and Harrys who are here looking for every female to be submitted to them. I'm like, who the hell do you think you are? And what qualifies you that I should submit to you? You cannot submit to that which you cannot respect. You cannot submit to incompetence. If I know how to do my job better than you do know how to do that job, it will be very difficult for you to listen to advice. I was telling somebody that the last decade of my career has been very... I've had to go and seek the doctorate. I have had to go and look for ways in which I can refine my own instruction. I've had to go down the puristic research because it got to a point where those who manage me, who are supposed to performance manage, those who are supposed to give you tips and give you suggestions on what to improve, were not people who were capable of actually spotting anything to give me anything that was meaningful. Some people just have a checklist of random ones. Yeah, let the children, you explain more to the children. And you're like, why am I explaining more to the children in this age of Google? Google has been around 20 years. Why am I repeating what Google can give the children? I am here as an additional resource to actually help facilitate deeper learning. That's what I'm here for. Looking for the definitions of keywords is not something I should be doing. No. The definitions are available on Google. The children can look for it. You can find worksheets. You can go to dictionaries. You can find encyclopedias. You can have repositories of knowledge beyond myself. In fact, superior repositories of knowledge for the students to access. And my job is to help them to review which of those facilities are worthy of exploration and so on. And you will still sit in here and people were like, well, yeah, you know, when Mariam was struggling, you should have helped Mariam more. I'm like, how was I supposed to help Mariam? Well, you told Mariam to go to Google, but you should have told Mariam what to do. Why should I tell Mariam what to do? I am trying to teach Mariam to be self-reliant. And I know a place where the information she gets will still be secure. Why am I going to bypass Mariam's ability to find out? Why will I kill curiosity in Mariam? And I've actually had so many people say that, and I look at them like, have you actually looked at the research and what the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning has said in the last 15 years? Have you? Or are you still applying what was done in 1644 when we were still clueless about how people learn and how to build disposition in people? But yeah, people give me that feedback all the time, and I can't respect it because it's BS. It's outdated. And so I hear that now, unfortunately. Now, fortunately, with maturity, I don't make any comments. A person writes whatever, I'm like, okay, whatever. Most of the time, I don't even bother reading. We shelf it somewhere, and I go and find people who are more qualified. I find the AI coaches very effective. I will share the lesson plan. I will share my data and I will ask the AI coaches for things they can do, the things that I can do to improve the delivery. And these AI coaches will give me what I need. And that is more meaningful. I can submit to what the AI coaches give me. It is in line with what I know. And I said to somebody recently, you do know that I understand that you probably have about approximately the same amount of service, the same length of service. We've been round about the same sort of places. But on top of that length of service, I also I have spent time doing puristic studies. I've gone back to look at instruction and how instruction works. And yeah, right now in this area you are actually talking to me about, I am one of the world's leading researchers here. That's not tooting a horn, that's stating facts. I am one of the world's leading researchers in this area. Combine that with the practice that I have had for years, the fact that my lessons have been outstanding since 2009. We've been going for a long time. I got my first Ofsted outstanding in 2009. Do you understand in this conversation I'm having with you why it would be very problematic for somebody to be giving me feedback that might not be accurate in information, and why it would be very difficult for me to act like a good subordinate, to sit there and nod my head like a bloody fool because I'm not a fool, to smile and thank this person for this bullshit. It's very difficult. I can't do it. And again, put yourself in the other person's shoe. Imagine you sitting giving feedback to somebody who sits there smugly looking at you like an idiot because they genuinely think you are an idiot. They haven't said anything with their lips, but you can read it from their body language. Put yourself in the person's shoes, and you will understand why the people who are busy pressing on your neck will press on your neck. And you should know why you will also not be able to do. I know what I should do for peace. I can't do it because it's difficult to submit to bullshit. It really is. I'm telling you these things because I know many of you in your workplaces, when I make these videos now with the ascendancy, people come, Amma, oh my God, you just called it. It's exactly as it is. It's I'm telling you, it will be difficult for you to submit in the places where you should submit. The more competent you become, the more skilled you become, it becomes very difficult. The more experienced you become, it becomes very difficult. The older you get, it becomes very difficult. And unfortunately for me, as time has gone on, all these things have become true. I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser, I've become more knowledgeable, I am more experienced, I understand more, and so on. And so it is difficult for you to sit there. Another thing which is a problem is that you can't, past a certain age, you will not be able to sit there like a coward. When you were a kid, you are worried about food and blah de blah. You know, you've been doing that since you were a kid. At some point, you will have to grow a pair. And so you do grow a pair. And when you grow a pair, you become a truth teller. And you deliver truth to people who haven't paid you for truth. Yo! I worked with somebody. And when the person finally moved on, the person said to me, you know, it was very difficult for me to be in meetings and training events when you were in attendance. When you were not in attendance, I was very relieved. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, the way you sit there, you didn't have to see anything. I could read it from your body language. And you know, I could read it and everybody else could read it, which made me seem like an idiot. I'm looking at this person like, what's wrong with you? You have been my superior. I have been nowhere near. I'm not a contender. But yeah, but you know what I mean. You are the better expert in this area. Like, yeah. So the question becomes, why is it that organizations will promote those who are less of experts and will bypass the experts, because those who are less of experts are likely to play nice. Those ones are easy to manipulate. They will rubber stamp whatever they are told to do. They will rubber stamp. You, the supposed expert, the one who knows, with your oversabi, you will not rubber stamp. Sometime, a new member of staff joined my school. And when the new member of staff joined my school in the first staff meeting, she asked, but why are we doing that? And I looked at the person with one side eye, and I'm trying to tell this person, hey, they'll get rid of you. You will not survive this place. They will get rid of you. They are going to make your life a living hell. And the next opportunity I got, I told the person, you have just made your coffin. The person lasted 1 term. You have just made your coffin. They will put you in it. They will nail you and they will bury you 6 feet under. That thing you just did made them all look stupid. And you made them all look stupid publicly. And they are going to go for you. They are going to reduce you to nothing because of what you just did. You probably didn't realize, back to the 48 laws of power. You probably didn't realize, but you had just made the superior look stupid. You just questioned the planning that happened before you arrived. And again, this person was superior in qualifications, superior in experience. The people she was questioning were her juniors, and so she was justified in doing so, but the organization had put these people in positions. Why? Because when the organization says go and do X, they do not have the capacity to question. They will just say yes, ma'am. Make everybody jump. How high? Should they dance as well? And so organizations promote people pleasers majority of the time. They promote rubber stampers majority of the time. They promote peacekeepers majority of the time. I worked in a school where most of the middle leaders and senior leaders would come with notepads and their pens into strategy meetings. They did not contribute to the strategy. Right, I would like you to do XYZ with these people. No, say this to them, blah, blah. Yes, ma'am. Okay, what about you? Okay, I want you to call the parents. I want you to do this. I want you to make sure. Can you check that these people, they write it out and they go off. And there was one person in this team who also questioned. And I'm telling you this as an ascender. If you are somebody who questions, if your brain is active and you wonder and you do not know how to hold it, and you are going to ask, you shall be marginalized. People will sabotage you. It is going to be nearly impossible for you to rise in the traditional way in these spaces, and you need to come to terms with those. You need to make peace with these situations. You do need to make peace. You need to understand that the positions you find inevitable, that you must adopt, also come with responses. Action and reaction are equal but opposite. Newton's third law. Your actions will dictate the reactions. So if you are not going to shut up, there will be a reaction to that. If you are going to express your views, there will be a reaction to that. If you are going to attempt to soar, they will clip your wings. How dare you soar above those who want to soar above you? Oh, people's insecurities will flare because of you. And sometimes the people who become insecure are so funny. They are so far away from you, but they can still see that you are coming at a speed. And they will clip your wings. Some of you are prepared to slug it out. Maybe some of you are young and you have time to stay here and eventually learn some of the things that I'm sharing with you. But for those of you who have run out of time like me, we do not have time to stay in organizations. Me, I have made peace. I have understood I will have to find really visionary people to work with who will liberate you. And they have to be liberation leaders. People who do liberation leadership. There are not many. A few exist. You've got to take your time and find those. If you find those people who are confident, secure, and usually the leaders who are able to liberate you are themselves competent. The leaders who are able to let you be are themselves people who have been. If you have a master's and you work with somebody who has a doctorate, they are happy for you to exercise your master's because the laws of power play so that they are still above you. Yeah. You bring your doctorate to the table to a person with a bachelor's managing you, you are going to flare insecurity. If the person has been in long service and you are quite new, they have something to pull rank over you, you will probably be fine. But if a person check rank and they will not be able to pull it over you, whoa, they will pull it in some other ways. So I'm telling you this in the prelude to what I'm about to say because I want you to understand the real situation. I want you to understand what causes the situation. I want you to understand how inevitable that situation is the more competent you become, and why you are going to be targeted as you become competent and skilled, and you become vocal, knowledgeable, respected, and so on. Yeah, most people, when you reach that point, you will have to make do with some things. So somebody was asking me this week, are you not going to go for promotions anymore? And I'm like, no. I stopped applying for promotions in places that I already work. The person says, that's not like you. You did not strike me as unambitious. I'm like, you know me. You know I'm incredibly ambitious. But this is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. I don't have the energy to waste. No, I would rather invest my energy in places where I will see outcomes. And I spend my energy in my businesses. I spend my energy in organizations where leadership can come to you based on capacity, ability. Yeah, I go to situations, I now only frolic in places where people are themselves accomplished and accomplishing, so that they are not threatened by somebody else's accomplishments. Those are places that I like to put myself. I went into Toastmasters. Toastmasters has been a very natural place for me because I bring a lot of capacities to a place that a lot of people, especially the very experienced Toastmasters, they do understand, they do recognize talent, they do recognize potential, and a lot of things have come to my table before even I was aware. I was not really here to come and work on any leadership. I was here to work on speaking, evidence and documentation of my capacity to speak. That's all I came here for. However, I have discovered that people who are in these circles, who are comfortable, especially the ones people who have already got a distinguished Toastmasters award, for example, the DTMs have very, very gracious when they meet characters like me. They're very comfortable. You've been there, done that, ticked off all the boxes, and will welcome you wholeheartedly here. I am now only putting myself in places and in situations where my effort is more likely to yield results. I don't have time to waste. I don't have energy to waste. I do not apply for things that I know I will not get a fair hearing on. I don't. But you must protest. Nah, it's not everywhere you protest. If you protest and it will be heard and you will get a fair hearing, of course I will protest. But if you will not get a fair hearing, nah, I will not protest. I'm not interested. Anyway, so what is the way forward? Me, I am focusing on the places where I have control, building assets from my skills and holding these assets in ecosystems I own. I don't rely on anybody to do that. I don't need anybody. There are no gatekeepers here. The more competent you become, the better it is for you to operate in circles where there are no gatekeepers. Where there are gatekeepers, you are likely to deal with the systematic suppression So these days, before I get myself involved in something, I ask myself, are there gatekeepers? And if there are gatekeepers, I'm probably not interested. I am looking for places where the gatekeepers have lost their gate, or they weren't gatekeepers in the first place. I look for situations where my agency can be exercised. I focus on places where I am in control and I can do, and what I do translates directly into what happens. Those are the situations I am interested in, and that's why you find that I'm focusing more on my business. As for my business, it can grow as much as I am willing to invest in. Nobody will tell me, nobody will limit me. Yeah, I have actually been in situations where a person has gone telling people, well, she's not exactly very focused on this organization. I'm like, what the hell do you mean? I am more effective than majority of the people, but so what do you mean by I am not committed? Well, they said you have your own business and you seem to be focusing on your business. I'm like, have I missed any metric? No. But yeah, as long as there is a gatekeeper, as long as there is somebody who operates above your head, that person and their capacities and their abilities will limit your potential to grow, will influence your ability to grow. If that person creates enabling environments, then you shall be enabled. If the environments they create are restricting, you shall be restricted. It's that simple. And so as a person who can be enabled or restricted, the best thing you can do for yourself is to make sure that you only operate in places where there are no gatekeepers, where the only person who can elevate and restrict will be yourself. And at the moment, the one place I know is in business for yourself. To become an entrepreneur, to take the same skills that you would have used in your job, to become the things that you could be, to become a manager, to be whatever. And in fact, the more I think about it, it doesn't make sense for you to get a promotion at work because you are still trading time for money in most of these jobs. It is much better for you to take yourself from there into places where you trade outcomes for money. And even better, if you're trading of outcomes, sister for yeah, this app is very funny. Eventually, it showed me one name. After all this time, I've not seen a single comment, but I know some of you would have made comments. You want to be on the ascendancy. You need to understand what you are playing against, what you are fighting against. You need to know where you are likely to make gains. You need to understand when you, and you need to be able to decide not to waste your time in places and to spend your time more strategically. That is where I am at the minute. Spend my time only in places where time spent is likely to be for some gain. And we are dwelling on taking the knowledge that you would foolishly donate to places where it will not be appreciated, and only making sure that that knowledge is now put in spaces where people can access it and can pay you directly for. That way you uncap your earnings. Hi people! What are you people eating? Thank you. Yeah, Florence. Come. Who's making the pasta?
I made it because I didn't know that was really food.
Okay, come.
Last time.
No, I've got the camera.
Oh. Last
But
time.
I also need you to fix this.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time what?
Last time I didn't make anything, so I made something today. No wonder I made something that brought food.
We made it in the evening. We eat in the evening anyway, so.
But the thing is, though, I don't think we have any sauce with it.
So what do you need to make a sauce?
Oh. You got the spicy.
Let me eat my food and then I'll come back and we will talk more about the ascendancy. Hopefully this video has explained why I am focused, hyper focused on my Ascendancy Collective. I'm invited so many of you into the Ascendancy Collective because I know for some of you, your only way up is to be through your own channels. Your only way up is to use the channels that you create and you own. We'll talk some more in a minute.